A scooter horn sounds on a crowded street. A ceiling fan turns steadily. A lamp switches on. Behind each of these visible actions, a quiet, invisible network is already at work. Electricity doesn't become useful simply because it exists. It has to be guided and controlled. It moves through a meticulously planned system of pathways that dictate exactly how and when a machine acts. We can think of this architecture as the hidden nervous system. It's a framework that helps us map the physical wiring of our machines and eventually the digital pathways of artificial intelligence. There is a difference between looking at a machine and truly seeing it. Looking notices the bundle of wires. Seeing asks why that specific path exists in the first place. Real engineering doesn't start by memorizing the names of parts. It starts by uncovering the hidden systems that allow a human intention to become a physical action. Picture a quiet workshop in the late afternoon. Dust motes drift in the sunlight, and a small air compressor breathes in the background. On the center bench lies a wiring harness. To a beginner, it looks like a question with too many tails. It appears as a dense, tangled mess of copper, plastic connectors, and wrapping that runs in every direction at once. To an experienced mentor, that same bundle is entirely readable. It is an organized map of decisions waiting to be decoded. A wire doesn't exist inside a harness because someone likes copper. It exists because someone decided a specific action needed to happen. Any complex system looks like magic or chaos from the outside. That illusion breaks when we identify the human need that designed it. If we clear the workbench and strip away the confusion, we can start with two isolated objects, a battery and a simple lamp. Before we touch a single piece of wire, we have to define the function. The function is the action we want the machine to perform. In this case, we want the lamp to blow. This schematic illustrates the basic requirement for that function. Power must reach the destination to create the action, and a return path must carry the energy back to the source to safely complete the circuit. Then we add the signal. This is the command layer, communicating exactly when the power should flow and when it should stop. The physical parts themselves are secondary. The invisible human purpose gives the machine its shape. Without a defined human need, a wire is just copper inside insulation. It only gains meaning when it is asked to serve a specific function. A path doesn't live on an empty classroom table. It lives inside a machine, surrounded by a harsh, unpredictable environment. A loose wire can connect, but a controlled path must survive. Machines vibrate violently. They generate intense heat. They contain moving hinges and sharp metal edges that constantly assault the pathways inside them. This cross-section illustrates why we design protection. Sleeves, clips, and grommets are not decorative wrappings. They form a deliberate boundary against friction, heat, and movement. The physical journey the harness takes is called routing. It maps the geography of the machine, carefully navigating the path around hazard zones and heat sources. Engineering is the act of protecting an intended path from the chaos of reality. By managing those risks, we ensure the system earns our trust over time. The principles that govern a physical workshop apply to the abstract, digital realm of artificial intelligence. Just as a wiring harness uses physical pathways to carry electricity, a neural network uses hidden computational layers to process information. Here is the structure of a neural network layer. We often confuse its highly fluent output with actual comprehension. But a neuron is simply a mathematical function, taking inputs, weighing them, and producing a numerical output, completely devoid of human meaning or awareness. We project a ghost into the machine because our biology is wired to infer an inner mind whenever we see highly competent behavior. Artificial intelligence is not a conscious authority. It is a complex mirror, reliably reflecting patterns and predicting sequences without possessing any judgment of its own. Because the machine lacks intent, the responsibility for the outcome always returns to the human operator. We implement governance to manage this. Human judgment has to serve as the final boundary and the ultimate review point for any machine output. These intelligent tools are highly effective when used to organize data and to test our assumptions. They fail when we blindly accept them as the final answer. Just like a physical wire needs a protective sleeve to survive a machine, a computational system requires human oversight to prevent failure and real-world harm. We study physical systems so we can accurately read the invisible ones. Ultimately, the human mind must remain the architect of meaning.